Welcome, everybody. It's Tuesday evening. It's the April 6th, and it's time for Toastmasters. Ask the, yay! Again, standing in as the presiding officer. And by the way, Aaron Russell, our president, says he misses Toastmasters every Tuesday, and he's working, and he just feels like he's missing his family. So no, you guys, some of you guys haven't met him, but we miss him too. So the mission of a Toastmasters club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every member has the opportunity to develop oral communication and leadership skills, which in turn foster self-confidence and personal growth. Let's hear it for our mission. Yay! All right. We do have 2 new members. Let's hear it for them. Yay! All right. So Donna and Alex. And by the way, Donna, that email I sent you this afternoon, maybe, is it okay? I'm going to forward it. I thought I'd forward it to Alex because it's got some useful, hopefully useful information. Okay. So nothing like having team newbies getting started. I'm also the Toastmaster tonight, so take off that, put this on. Okay, Toastmaster. Oh my gosh, here we go. And so I think I'm going to not do the timer first because it's starting to get monotonous. So what we do, we are going to have our roles described tonight. We do have both of our new members assuming a role. And I'm going to also continue to ask them, just watch how other people are doing other roles so that you'll have a little sense of how Golden Speakers does roles. Let's see. So let's start with our grammarian for the night. And Alex, are you ready to put something in chat as well? Are you good for that?
Yes.
Okay.
I am.
Let's welcome Alex, who will be our grammarian for tonight.
Thanks, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Well, no longer guests, new member. As a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers and listen carefully to their language usage. I'll take notes of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, saying, or thoughts. It is also my duty to introduce the word of the day, and the word of the day is blossom. Blossom has a few definitions, so I'll put in the chat. There you go. The copy and paste didn't come the way I expected to, but I can explain a little bit. It can be a definition of the flower of a seed plant. An example would be an apple blossom, or it could also be to come into one's own, a peak or period stage of development. For example, developing a blossoming talent. Can you guys understand there? A little confusing.
Yeah, that's good.
So each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day. And then at the end of our meeting, I will give the grammarian's report. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you. Now we will move to our counter, who also is our primary prepared speaker tonight. But in his counter role, let's welcome Bob Fogel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's my purpose of tonight for doing the counter is to note words and sounds that are used as crutches, pause fillers by anyone who speaks during the meeting. I will listen to overused words, including and, well, but, you know, so. I will also listen for filler sounds like o, a, And also double taps where you say I, or this means. At the end of the meeting, I will give my report we're called upon. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Now we will call on the timer, who is me. Tonight, as the timer, my job is to time certain sections of the meeting and make sure that we're staying within time. We do have a prepared speech this evening, Bob Fogel. It's a 5 to 7 minute speech. At 5 minutes, I will show the green card. At 6 minutes, I'll show the yellow card. And at 7 minutes, I will show the red card. And he has 30 seconds after that to really bring it to a close. Close. Did you count that?
Gotcha, Jean.
Oh, oh.
You're in the lead.
I oversaw a 4-hour move effort today from Atlanta. It's like, I'm sort of like, Okay. Then I'm also going to be timing our tables topics section. These are 1 to 2 minute speeches. At 1 minute, I'll show the green. At 1.5 minutes, I'll show the yellow. And at 2 minutes, I'll show the red. And then you have 30 seconds after that to finish up. I'll also be timing our evaluators this evening. We do have a speech evaluator and a table topics evaluator. I think we're probably going to be using regular timing for evaluation, given how much we have in the meeting. So that's a 2 to 3 minute talk. At 2 minutes, I'll do a green. At 2.5, I do a yellow. And at 3 minutes, I do a red. And then you have 30 seconds to finish up. I also time the sections at the end too, just so we don't get overly verbose on that. We want to keep blossoming in our ability to not only speak, but to do it in the time that is allotted. Thank you, timer. We should all clap for ourselves every now and then. You know, you just should. You just should. I think it's a good idea. All right. Later, we will hear from our general evaluator, who is going to also be Art this evening. He's our table topics master as well, so he's got full plate. And our joke master for the evening, and that will be Donna, our new member. And I will just say, just because you have to know, we're kind of the Disney level of jokes. So, you know, sex, drugs, rock and roll, religion, you know, you kind of need to steer away from those, even though we all think they're very funny, but not at the Toastmaster meeting. It's got to be sort of general consumption. Okay, so if you have to frantically start looking for a new joke, I apologize for not getting that out there. Okay. All right.
Well, it's worth remembering that the meetings go up on Fairfield Public Access TV and potentially YouTube.
Yeah, they are
So they
both.
ought to be very public, PG.
Yeah. We don't worry about that. It's just sort of like we're in our little own reality TV show and we don't pay too much mind, but it is true. There is our fan base needs to stay comfortable with us. We can still be a little edgy, but you know, it needs to be comfortable. All right, with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to our prepared speaker for the evening, and that is Bob Fogel. To read the objectives for his project is his evaluator, Jean Craig.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Tonight, Bob's going to be doing a speech in which he tries to explore the various aspects of vocal variety. On the evaluation guide, the purpose statement is simply, the purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety to enhance a speech. So while I'll be looking for general qualities of his speech, just his presentation, his organization, and so on. I have a sheet of various types of vocal variety, is loudness or softness, the pitch, the voice quality, the speeding up, the slowing down, that sort of thing. So I will be concentrating on that quite a bit. And I will give my evaluation and we'll see how he did. I'm going to turn it over to our Toastmaster, Jean, to give Bob his intro. And I want to mention one more thing. Bob's going to use some visual aids tonight. And we were going to practice a little with sharing screen, but because we had trouble with the link, we didn't have time. So we're going to try something we haven't tried before, which is I'm going to share the screen. And Bob's just going to cue me verbally when to put them up and take them down. The one other thing I want to mention is you're all aware of the view grid up at the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Let's put that, when I'm sharing the screen, if you wouldn't mind, put that on side-by-side gallery view. You can't pick it now because there's not a shared screen, but side-by-side gallery view will let his slide be up and then it will show Bob and a couple other people on the right-hand side. That'll be better than just the slide. So I hope that made sense. Now I'm turning it over to Jean.
Okay. Thank you, Dan. By way of introduction for Bob, Bob has been a member of Toastmasters for about a year, and he has really blossomed. He is the owner of a successful business, Bogle Basement Repair, serving Southeast Iowa, the whole area, going on 28 years. He has 3 children and 3 grandchildren. Bob states family is everything. Please welcome Bob. Oh, and let me mention, because it wasn't mentioned, the title of his speech is called Six Pack. And he is doing one of the electives that he's required to do for his level 3. The elective is called Using Vocal Variety. And his level 3, he's in level 3 of the path entitled Presentation Mastery. So let's welcome Bob.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and our new Toastmasters that have just joined, as well as our many viewers online that tend to tune in to watch us. My speech tonight is a 6-pack. I have found that starting my day off with a 6-pack makes life go much smoother. It will relieve anxiety, confusion, and can conquer the age-old problem of indecision. Also, it's been known to put procrastination right in the back seat. So, Dan, can you go ahead and share that screen? Thank you. What we're simply looking at here is I'm just going to look at it, says, this is what my 6-pack that I'm sharing about. Now, I have no control of running that thing, but as it states, I typically keep a running list of things that need to be done, and I transfer them to a priority list on 3x5 cards, which can be easily filed and later. Dan, are you allowed? Can you expand that? Oh, there we go. Bob's, now I can see it. Thank you. I'll have you know something, that our leading universities claim that we possess genius inside. When pressed upon, we can draw that genius out. However, the average person, excuse me, the average person only uses 10% of their brains, and most likely only about 5% of their brains. The issue here is not our intellect power, but our level, our realization that we can change our future. And you possess the power to change your future. Yes, you. As you sit there pondering what my statement says that you can change your future, you might think, seriously, dude, how am I going to change my future by a six-pack? Well, hear me out, okay? If you take the simple six-pack approach, it will work for anyone. It'll work for school children. It'll work for businessmen, businesswomen. It'll work for students, and it'll work for everyone in life. You realize that in life, everyone is never satisfied. I believe it's in our DNA to grow and set goals, always to want more. Now, here's the scenario. Remember last time you were at a bonfire and you had the aroma of the smoke floating around? You're listening to the crackling of the wood. You're watching the flames dance along the sticks and what have you. And as you stare up at the sky, you see the stars, and it's just such a beautiful night. And then you think to yourself, I'm done. I've had enough. That never works, does it? That's the same thing with desire. We never have enough. That's a good thing for us, though, because we always want more peace of mind, more direction, more courage. And let's face it, a lot of us just want more money. In my quest to fulfill my desire for wants and needs to render accomplishment, I needed a roadmap of sorts. And that's how the simple six-plan thing evolved in my mind. And I'm sure most of you could use this roadmap yourself. Wouldn't you agree? Of course. Mm-hmm. And who better than you to tell you what to do? As you see the screen that I've shared, when we look at the tasks that I have, and that I can have up to 20 or 30 at a time, as well as yourself, I have narrowed it down to a six-pack. And through that approach, it comes up what I normally do to approach it is I just wake up a little earlier than I normally do. I take a shower, pour myself a cup of hot tea, and I sit there and write that out. And gentlemen, I want to share something with you. If you struggle coming up with a plan like this, just remember, the women in your life have plenty of honey-do lists sitting there for you to help fill that in, okay? Mm-hmm. As I stated, there could be a number of 20, 30s on that day. And as you write them down, I like putting them on a 3x5 card because it's easily to fit in my pocket and it's easily accessible when I want it to be. Now, I realize our society wants to go paperless. We all have phones, computers that we can fill our six-pack out at any given time. But one thing I have found is that there's always something that wants our attention, always trying to take us away from what we're focused upon. And when I use those electronic devices, sometimes I can get misdirected. That's why I like to keep the simplicity of the 3x5 card, and I can write it down on my cards. In life, we all have unforeseens. And emergencies, they're guaranteed. But that's the beauty of this simple plan of the six-pack. It works just like a bookmarker. You never lose your place. Eventually, by following a simple six-pack plan, the skies will clear, peace will return in great abundance. You'll approach each day knowing that you are in charge. And you will have, if continued on, you will have what you want. I'll leave you with this. my top 6 benefits of a six-pack. Dan, can you slide that slide over?
Is that one, is a different one showing? I
No.
may have to, hang on one second. I'm going to have to reshare. Okay.
Okay, so here's the 6 things that I come up with that will show you. First one, with that six-pack, you are in charge of your destination. You will have a measurable chart of achievement. Number 3, you will put to rest the age-old question of what should I do now? Number 4, you will gain peace of mind and confidence. Number 5, you will be in that wonderful minority of people who know where they're going. And number 6, you could start right away. Back to you.
Okay. All right, let's see. Thank you, Bob. That was very inspiring. It sounds very productive as well. Now we'll have 2 minutes of silence while you send your comments to Bob privately in the chat, just what you saw, what you heard, what you felt. You can comment on his organization, whatever you want to comment to him. And so 2 minutes is not very long, so here we go. I always have trouble stopping on evaluations. It's just very hard. 2 minutes isn't very long. All right. But Dan, as his evaluator, Bob's evaluator, would you like a little more time to work on that?
Yes, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and go to table topics and come back to me.
Okay, good. Very good. That's what we'll do. All right, so we now are heading into our table topics, our impromptu speaking muscle session. And Art is our table topics master for the evening. Our theme is springtime, just because, look outside. And he can let us go ahead and start exercising our muscles. So let's hear it for Art.
You're muted, Art. Oh.
All right.
I muted myself when I sneezed.
Mm.
Got to come off mute. Okay, who would like to be the first speaker?
Veda.
Veda? Thank you, Veda.
Yes, could someone evaluate me?
So Veda, do we have an evaluator yet?
I'll evaluate Veda
Okay,
while I'm timing him and trying not to get lost. Okay, here we go. Mhm.
so Veda, choose a number between 1 and 6.
3.
Okay, question number 3. Do you have a favorite season? Is spring your favorite season, or is another one your favorite?
Mr. Table Topic Master, group members, and viewers at home. I do have a favorite season, and it has a special name. The name of the season that's my favorite is called Not Winter. Anything but winter is my favorite season. I'm starting to grow slightly weary of the winter season. I was born in North America, and I have never liked it. I grew up in the Boston, Massachusetts area, where winters are slightly mild and miserable. Overcast for weeks at a time. And even though it's much warmer than Iowa, the wet ocean air makes you absolutely miserable. And I remember one time that another thing that people in Massachusetts seem to love is ice cream. And so I remember going to the, in Harvard Square, they had this ice cream parlor named Steve's Parlor, and it was a frigid 20-degree day where I was just miserable. And I remember looking in the winter and thinking, all these people are absolutely nuts because they are enjoying ice cream. And later I found out Ayurveda, the science of Eastern medicine, says don't eat that in the winter. So I've always been quite affected by the winter weather, and I would rather have the opportunity to have sun and fun. So that's my favorite season, not winter. Thank you, members and Mr. Topic Master.
Who's next? Thank you, Jean.
Okay.
You want to pick a number?
Yes, would somebody, okay. Would somebody time me? Yeah. Dan's okay. Okay, yeah, good. Okay. All right, thank you. Now, pick a number, Art.
Right.
How about 4?
Very good. Spring is a time of new beginnings. Would it make sense to have New Year's Day and spring equinox be the same day?
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, and viewers at home. I think New Year's Day is fine just where it is. The reason I say that is because it comes after the whole holiday season, the ramp up of Thanksgiving and Christmas and the mounting hysteria and just frenetic activity and overeating and late nights and just all of that. And something so refreshing happens when you get to New Year's Day. It's like, whew, wow, we are past that. Now we have smooth sailing. Yes, it's in the middle of winter, but that's fine because really, even from January 1st, you already start looking ahead to, well, it's going to be warm pretty soon. March is going to come. It's going to be better. the darkest part of the year is past. It's going to get lighter every day. I just think New Year's is good there. And we need something good right there because we've just been through crazy times. It's cold, it's dark. And why not have a good New Year's new start right then? And then later you can pick up more of that energy at when spring actually comes because you're already on a roll. I think it's good to have momentum, be on a roll. You hit that spring and you are just already in motion. That's why I'd say let's leave New Year's where it is. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Okay. Alex, would you like to do one?
Oh, Donna was making I watched.
Did
Alex,
I-
of course, wants to do one, but Donna hit her buzzer a tad earlier.
Go ahead, Donna. Go ahead. I go next.
Oh, you're up at bat, Donna.
I'm up at bat. I'm excited. I'll choose number one.
Okay. What's your favorite aspect of spring?
Thank you all for having me here tonight. And thank you for allowing me this time to talk, fellow Toastmasters. My favorite part about spring is the weather getting more cool, like an easy breeze. It's such a simple question that perhaps I've overthought it. There's so many things I like about spring. It's hard to choose just one. I like the blossoms on the trees. I like the fact that it's warm but not too warm, cool but not too cool. There's some clouds. It's not too sunny most of the time. At least where I'm from, this Iowa weather is kind of wacky because it's cold and then it's 80 degrees or something. There's like hardly any spring, so you really have to cherish it. So that's my favorite part about spring, the mild weather and the blossoms and the new growth.
I can go
Well,
now, Art.
I'm sorry?
I can go next.
Mhm.
Do
Okay.
you have one? Do you have another question, or we run out?
Yes, I have questions.
Okay.
Choose a number.
Which one wasn't picked? Or
Let's see. Two is available.
all right, go with 2.
What is your least favorite thing about spring?
Okay. Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, and everyone online. So my least favorite thing about spring, it's difficult. But the one thing that came to my mind right now is that I just recently moved from Florida to Iowa. So this was my experience with winter, so that experience with winter is new to me. And now that the spring is coming, which is a season that I love, I feel that I will miss uh, the times at home. Like the winter brings that moment of introspection. And I feel spring has the momentum of growth, of blossoming. So I feel I will, in a way, I believe I will miss, this introspection that the winter comes. So I think that will be my least favorite thing about this moment. I feel it's respecting the cycles as we try to go with the cycles of nature. I feel spring will bring that new beginnings and growing and growth and get moving. So I will reminisce or miss that introspective time that comes with winter. Thank you. Back to you.
One more. Dan Craig.
Are you allowing enough time for me to go back to my speech evaluation?
Maybe not. Do I need? Yeah, maybe I didn't.
Just a question.
You always manage to wriggle past me. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, maybe we should be okay. Yeah, all right. I think we should call it. So thank you very much, Dan, for pointing that out. We did shuffle things around, so we still have you to do. All right, at this point, let's see. Art, are you going to ask for the timers report?
Yes. Could we hear from the timer about the speakers who gave table topic presentations?
Yes.
Donna?
No, who qualified? Just who qualified? Let's see. Everyone qualified. So that was Veda, Jean, Donna, and Alex qualified. And I'm the Toastmaster. Yay, that's very good. Very good. Go ahead and send me as the Toastmaster your vote. I'm sitting here looking, why aren't I here? How can I send myself, how can I send a message? Oh. All right. And meanwhile, we'll go ahead and have our table topics evaluator begin. So let's welcome Veda.
Okay, so I should start. start my topic evaluation.
Right.
Should we get my evaluation before or after?
Best for last, I think.
Okay.
Which means that's
Out of
you.
order.
That
Out of order. If you want to do my, okay,
I'll do yours if you want. It's up to
Yeah.
you. You're the evaluator.
start with me and then,
Okay. So Veda had the question about what was his favorite season. He's right away just really tickled us by saying everything can be summed up in not winter. I love that, how he did that. He did give some personal stories. He talked about being Boston. He did talk about the humidity in the air and the ice cream. So a couple of nice pieces there. He did finish with a nice pithy little phrase. So what he likes is sun and fun. And then he did say, so that's not winter is my favorite season. So he concluded he had good organization, good structure, which is something when you're new to table topics, that's what you're trying to get your brain to train on, is how do I get that structure when it's just random and I've just gotten that question. My suggestion to Veda would be he had some really good opportunities that he could have used some more vocal variety in gestures. So for example, facial, when he said he was just miserable, he could have put that, face in there to really let us know how miserable it is. And then, he's out there, it's 20 degrees, whatever that's, freezing, and he's looking in the ice cream store and he's thinking, hell no, what are people doing in there? So some opportunities there to play and enhance. That's my evaluation.
thank you, Jean. Should we count my timing from this point?
Yeah, we'll count your timing at this point. So you have
Okay, great.
3?
Yeah, 2 to
Great.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
Right, which is perfect for this number of people, 30-second pieces.
Okay.
Okay, so Jean did a slam, interesting, great topic. As an experienced Toastmaster, she paused. She did a proper greeting. She stated her introduction as her premise, got right into it. I think it's fine. Then she filled it out with content, why she wanted that, and she had a conclusion by restating it. It was all coherent. I think that there was a few things that could be looked at. One is that she didn't transition to the topic master, maybe because she felt she was running out of time. She didn't say, thank you, Mr. Topic Master at the end. I think there was a lot of good points here. I think that the fact is we have a zoom point here. I'm going to include zoom points. She's a little close to the camera, so you don't have an opportunity to see her hand gestures because they're just out of camera range. She didn't have that much vocal variety, but her voice is always interesting in general. So it wasn't more interesting at certain points. The next person is Dana and
It's Donna.
Donna, sorry. I think the main thing with Donna is that she's very new to this, but still sweet and convincing. She went into her ideas and she even got in the word of the day. I don't know if that was on purpose, the blossoms.
Yeah.
And she had a little bit of negative statements, like you don't have to say thank you to the audience. You can greet the audience. A little bit more humility than maybe is necessary in Toastmasters, but that's just because she's a new speaker. I think she did an incredible job, and congratulations. Alex, very clear. She paused, she did a proper greeting. She introduced her idea. In the end, she said, thank you. It would be better to say, thank you, Mr. Table Topic Master. And she basically stayed on one idea, which was my only room for improvement is maybe try to get 1 or 2 points related to that idea. But she had great hand gestures and we could see her hands. So congratulations, Alex. I believe that's all of my topic evaluations, Mrs. Toastmaster.
Great. Okay, good. All right. Now, would we like to go back and pick up our other evaluator, Jean Craig, who is evaluating Bob?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. What I really enjoyed about Bob's talk tonight was that he gave us some real life information. He told us about a method that he uses to organize his life. He's an expert. He wasn't talking about theory of how to get things done. He was just saying, this is the way I do it. It works really well. And I'd suggest that you try it too. And it was something I thought, I should try that. That sounds like a good idea. He also excelled at introducing some humorous elements. He didn't get big laughs, but he started out saying, I really think you should start every day with a 6-pack. And the crowd was sort of going, what's Bob up to? Bob was being funny. My evaluation guide also asked me, well, what's something you might want to work on? I think in the context of this project, you might want to work in more elements of vocal variety. One thing that you did well, at one point I noticed that you had a louder passage, and that's an element of vocal variety, louder, softer. I think you had a statement, something like, who better than you to organize, tell you how to do things, something like that. And that wakes us up when you speak a little louder, get a little more in our faces. So my suggestion for you is that you continue to work on vocal variety, pick one element per speech and try to work it in. Another thing that's easy to incorporate is faster, slower. So if you're speaking at a regular rate, which most of us do, you can begin to lull your audience to sleep. But if you incorporate maybe a good, meaningful pause, and then an enthusiastic, fast passage, and then move back again, that variety, that vocal variety is something that really adds to the value of your speech, the ability of the audience to take it in. The last point in my evaluation guide is what's something you could do to challenge yourself. And I think in this speech, what I noticed was that the final slide, the 6 benefits of using the 6-pack, was really good information. But what I'd like to point out is that at that point, right at the end, that was new information. The best organization is one that incorporates repetition. We're all intelligent people, but it's been shown time and time again that we have to repeat to our audience for things to be taken in. So introduction, body, conclusion, a conclusion that recaps. So you don't want to introduce new information at that point.
Thank you, Dan. Now, Art, would you like to conduct the general evaluation portion?
Sure.
Okay. Oh, wait, before you do that, let me just mention, we need to vote on evaluators. Sorry. So the timer, which is me, who is me, will state that both of our evaluators qualified tonight.
Beta and Dan.
Beta and Dan. So please send me as the Toastmaster your vote. Okay. Good. All righty. So Art, you want to go ahead and take it away?
Yes, I'd like to begin by getting the report from our counter.
Bob. All right, Bob.
All right, as mine rules the all counter. Jean, when you had 2 ahs in there. Veda, you had 4 ahs, 1 so, and 3 repeats. And Donna, you had 6 ums, 2 so's, and 2 repeats. Alex had 4 ahs, 3 so's, and 1 but. And then during the table topics evaluation, Veda had 4 ahs, 1 but, and 1 repeat. And then Jean, her evaluation was 1 ah, 1 and 1 repeat. And that's my report. Back to
Okay.
you.
I would like to hear from the blossoming grammarian. Would you give us your report?
Sure. Hello, Mr. General Evaluator. Hello, fellow Toastmasters. Everyone did very well. I didn't catch any huge grammar mistake or anything. Everybody was very good. But I did catch great phrases and points during today's presentation, Bob's presentation, and the table topics. So Bob mentioned the procrastination on the back seat. I thought that was an interesting phrase. And he said that we process genius inside. And but we only use 10% of our brain. So I thought that was interesting information, very nice. I also liked the scenario with the bonfire and stars to make reference to our search to desires. Veda, I really enjoyed the not winter season. I thought that gave like a very good sense. That was very interesting. And I can definitely relate. And the fun in the sun was also a catchy and fun phrase. Jean did a great explanation about the New Year's in the same day to be exactly as is, because it comes out of the frenetic activity before winter, before New Year's. And then after that, smooth sailing. So those are 2 phrases that I really liked. And also she said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, which was very nice. And Donna talk about the weather being, I thought that an interesting phrase was the blossoming on the trees, that she used the word of the day, and the mild weather and new growth. It was interesting. And then for the word of the day, we had 2 people that used. One was Jean, that used twice. Donna, that used once, and actually Art, that just used once. So this is my report for today. Back to you.
I thought Beta used it also, didn't you, Beta?
He was too cold. He was freezing.
Yeah,
No,
no, I think I
no-
missed using it.
no blossoms.
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Next, I'd like to hear from our timer, the timer's report.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Bob's speech, 6 minutes, 55 seconds. Veda had, for table topics, 2 minutes, 8 seconds. Jean was 1 minute, 58 seconds. Donna was 1 minute, 51 seconds. Alex was 1 minute, 31 seconds. For evaluators, Veda was 3 minutes, 20 seconds, and Dan was 3 minutes, 25 seconds. And that's my report.
I've forgotten who we announced as joke master.
Well, I think it's one of our new members, so that narrows it down to 2. And it's the one that hasn't spoken yet. Donna.
Yes, it's me.
Yes. Yay.
Okay, so I haven't done this before, so I'm kind of nervous. I chose 2 small, short jokes. They're kind of the equivalent of knock knock, kind of, but not with the cliche knock knock.
Okay.
So the first one is one that I created, and the second one is one I found online. I hope that's allowed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the first one is, how many bees does it take to screw in a light bulb?
Oh, I love these.
A bazillion.
A bazillion. Yes. All right.
Very G-rated,
That's good.
This is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
childish humor. So the second one is, how do bees stay so healthy? They take their B vitamins.
Ah,
How cute.
good. That's good.
Thank you.
Good. All right.
Next thing would be for me to evaluate the evaluators. Dan gave a detailed evaluation of Bob's talk. Bob, I have a question for you. Were you encouraged by the evaluation to improve your speech and to do it again?
Yes, I was very encouraged.
That is the mark of a good evaluation. He offered specific recommendations for what Bob might want to change. In terms of, particularly, he mentioned vocal variety, specifically the rate of delivery of the words, slowing down for emphasis, and then speeding up perhaps after a pause. He not only recommended it, but he demonstrated it, which is a key skill to make the evaluation land properly for the person hearing it. Veda gave evaluation of Donna, Alex, and Jean. And I have to confess, I've lost the details. He gave recommendations to at least 2 of them. And one thing he did very well was he praised Donna's venture into the speaking roles. Donna, were you encouraged to take on speaking roles again?
Yes.
By virtue of what the reaction was from your evaluator?
Well, there was no booing, so that was encouraging.
Good. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Just want to point out, we do evaluate everything, and many clubs don't evaluate their evaluators, but we feel it's very important to evaluate evaluators, so we do that as well. We do have, let me get my timer thing here. You have to be able to do left, right finger things. Sometimes it's challenging. We have some awards to give out. First off, we have Best Speaker. This is a I'm not seeing drum rolls from like, it's like a little quiet here. The jungle is not so, okay, good. Oh yeah, Bob, look at that. Is Bob Fogel. Yay, yay. Now let's just point out, Bob was the only speaker, but he wouldn't have gotten this fanfare if he had gone over time. So it's that he qualified. So that's very good, Bob. Very good. All right, now we are at best table topics. Zoom, it just doesn't quite have the same, pounding on your thighs kind of, feel to it. Well, it was me. So there you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Now we have our final category, which is our best evaluator. Okay. Bob's the little finger thing. Okay. Dan Craig. Dan Craig. There he is. Woo. Woo. Okay. It's even a bigger deal if the awarder is making noises, woo, like that. Okay. Let's see, we're getting close to the end. I think we had a very good meeting tonight. Still looking for, I'm putting on my vice president of education, and that is particularly on campus now. We have a couple of people now that are on campus, and if you're in a position to invite someone to come and just be in on this, we'd love it, because it's the more the merrier with a Toastmaster club. So I want to put that out there. And of course, our ongoing members, that's always something we can talk about. And I know Veda said he maybe had some people he had talked to. And so anyway, we always like to do that. We can stay on afterwards if we like, if there are, if there's any, sort of chat follow-up that we want to do. Does anyone have any business from their side that needs to come up? Dan?
Just a quick suggestion. I'd like to see everybody go to their Zoom profile and put in a picture. And the reason that's valuable is when we stop our video,
See, like that.
then there's something on the screen. If there's not a photo in your Zoom profile, then it does sort of a Casper the Friendly Ghost little outline, and it looks weird on a video. So
Dan's our videographer, so he keeps us looking good.
Dan, do we need to do that if we never stop our video?
that's a deep question, Veda. If you never stop your video,
That's
then I
right.
suppose you really don't.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
But
Okay.
who knows?
Could I ask a question? I tried to figure out how to do that. Do you know how to do that?
You have to be logged into a
And-
Zoom profile. That's the issue. That's an issue we have. If you're not logged into a Zoom profile, you can still get on a Zoom meeting, but you don't have that picture.
So you can
So-
create a Zoom account, a Zoom login.
Yeah, I have one, but when I click on a Zoom link in an email, and then it goes to the video, does that automatically log me into my account? Or am I like a guest or something?
I'm not sure. Are you using a Zoom app or going through a web browser? I think if
Web
you use
browser.
it,
If she
Okay.
clicks on a link, like this is what I click on the link, right when we're getting ready to go, and I just, boom, I'm right in here. I'm in this. But if I want to go mess around with my settings, you have to go somewhere else. And it's a little confusing to me. But
Yeah. I tried
like
doing that.
Perhaps I can help straighten it out. If you use your browser and go to zoom.us,
Mhm.
there is a way to log in to your account there. You're not in a meeting. You're not using the Zoom client that we are using right now. You're using your browser to access your Zoom account where your profile is stored. And that is where you upload a picture. It's not a
My
part.
profile has a picture though. That's what I don't understand.
That is interesting.
I had that happen one time where I had a picture, but it wasn't showing up here. And as I recall, it's somewhat in the past, but as I recall, I went through some conniptions to try to like almost, I was using the app. You know, I type down, type, and I just type for Zoom and it finds the app, but I had to uninstall it. I uninstalled it and I loaded it again, and then the picture fixed. I have no idea.
Donna,
And the other thing is to Google stuff, because I learn everything from Google. So, you know, it's like, why doesn't my Zoom profile picture show on my video? You know, something. And then there's usually tons of people that have answered that question, and then, you know, you see what's useful. Alex, you were going to say something?
yes, there's also an option right next to the 3 points. If you hover over with your mouse on top of your own image here
Mhm.
on the video, there's 3 dots. If you click that, there should be an option
Oh.
of edit profile picture.
That's new. That's newer since,
Oh, yeah,
I swear-
there it is.
there it
Yeah.
is. You see
So
that?
I think
I don't have that. Maybe when I click a link, it doesn't go to my account. When I
Okay.
go over my face, it doesn't show.
Where is your pointer? Is your pointer in the middle of your face on screen?
The 3
cursor
little
is,
dots
yeah.
are
So
on my little box.
So if you click on that and you get a drop
Yeah.
down, you don't have edit profile picture in that drop down?
No,
Huh.
no.
maybe you have
There's-
a different version of
Or maybe it needs to be
Zoom.
updated or something.
Yeah,
Could be.
Yeah.
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 I'll look into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Okay. Good. Well, let's go ahead and adjourn the meeting. We're officially after 9 o'clock. So yay. Thank you everybody for coming.